Good morning. Yeah, I just saw India Ari. Like, she was like explaining why she said what she said and about what was going on, and it was out of love and all this different stuff about the context of the Essence festival or whatever. Like, how it was out of context. The video was just out of context, and I don't know. The more she showed the video, I was just like, it's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong to be offended or to have an issue. We're not saying that. It's just like to even bring it up. It's like, okay, what's wrong with it? Like, what's going on? And so I always just try to tell people it's just not your culture. You understand what I'm saying? So why say anything? The same thing with Monique. It's not her culture to wear a bonnet to the airport. And so what I'm saying is like, instead of us like, this is the way you got to look at it. We have to stop saying that somebody's police. So instead of somebody just like, oh yeah, they're policing me, and instead of me being like, that is racist, it's just like, it's just not your culture. Because that's what it starts to sound like. To me, it starts to sound like it's racism, and it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's the fact that it's discrimination because I shook my ass on stage. Um, I don't see the problem with that. I think it's discrimination because I got up this morning to put on my bonnet to go somewhere. Because I didn't have time to do my hair. I think it's discrimination if somebody tells me that I gotta come to the dentist in a certain type of attire and I'm about to get my teeth pulled and have to rest the whole fucking day. I think it's actually just it's racism, y'all. It's discrimination. Like you trying to stop somebody from doing something that you don't like, that you don't feel comfortable with. And so that's the other part of it. It's like, um, y'all gotta realize that's not your culture. You feel a certain type of way about it. Let me tell y'all something. Somebody yesterday makes this big deal on this North Korea shit about how they would still watch me yesterday. And I don't walk in the grass. Y'all understand? I never walk in the grass. If we walk in grass, we would get our ass beat. My grandmother had her yard done. The neighbor next door never had to walk through her grass, but he actually cut a line through her grass, walking through her grass. So she put a fence up. And we understood because we worked on the yard too. Like, why the fuck would he do that? We don't walk in any grass. We always go around on the sidewalk. That is the point of the sidewalk. I don't have anything against people that do it. You understand what I'm talking about? I'm going to tell them, don't walk on the grass. So when they see me go around, and I always tell them, you will cut a line in their yard. Like, you will actually create a line in their yard. And people don't like that shit. They have to put seeds and everything down to grow the grass back. And I'm talking about the man actually got mad because it was her yard. Her yard. He had to just, and y'all, it's actually mathematically better for you to actually just make straight lines. Go forward, turn left. Go forward, turn right. Instead of you trying to go at an angle, that's a longer distance. This motherfucker was mad and started fighting with her because of it. And so it's like, why? Why? I set up a boundary. My grandmother set up a boundary. That's it. She didn't have to talk to him. Set a boundary. But every time you set a boundary, sometimes it's not feasible because that's not your yard. You understand what I'm talking about? Y'all got to set the right boundaries. That So yeah, he started an argument. He started fighting with her over her property. Me and my best friend TJ was actually Romeo and Juliet, y'all. Romeo and Juliet. Like I'm talking about, they still let us play. But it's just like the fact that they be fighting all the time. He'll start throwing bleach water on her damn plants and stuff like that, her garden. She stopped having a garden. So she really had to put a fence up because this person kept trying to come into her yard with some bullshit. He was trying to kill her plants, kill her grass, all type of shit. He got so mad he had to fucking move. This motherfucker picked up and moved and started agitating us again. And I'm just like, what the fuck would that be for? Y'all, that should have pissed you the fuck off. We was already trapped there. You understand what I'm saying? And she steady telling me she called the news people, she called the police, she called everybody to get me up, and they still was just looking at. So now I really want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to think about John, her neighbor, always having some issues with her fucking yard. And it's like, I don't care if John helped the community or what. Why would he pick her yard to have an issue with? So that's why I tell y'all, if you got an issue with somebody shaking their ass, twerking, and it's a part of the culture that has come up through ages, it don't matter who Essence is or nothing. It just matters how they felt on stage twerking, just shaking it, giving it a day all, and getting out stress and all that different stuff. You got an issue with somebody putting a bonnet on their head. It's not your company that they gotta go to. If you got an issue with what I wear to your fucking office, and I'm covered up, because usually when people do that, they wear some covered up. They wear some covered up pajamas. And I wear pajamas as fashion. That's why I was like, what? So if you got issues with that, maybe you need to start attending. So maybe you need to start tending to your own grass. Y'all understand what I'm talking about? You don't have to cuss the neighbor out, because my grandmother never went to cuss them out. She just went to try to take action. And I think that's when she really realized we weren't going to get no help. They still didn't tell us, y'all. I'm talking about we was hostages. We still hostages. They still never help us here anywhere else, because the biggest crime is against us. So it's like if John, the neighbor, you see what I'm saying, would just tend to his own grass. And we actually he had like, what's that, a black top between the two houses. He ain't had to throw no water over in my grandmama's yard. You understand what I'm saying? And that's it. Like, it's like, for real, tend to your own grass. Sometimes the comments need to be kept to yourself. It don't matter what you doing or what you been doing. Sometimes you gotta shut the fuck up. Have a good day, y'all.